All right, Kaylee, let it rip. All right, as we start the first part, we're trying to get in what's called the attack posture. You can see that as we get into the attack posture, I make a red line by your foot, and we like to see your body driving towards the plate. I'm going to compare you with Lisa Hernandez, and you can see as she gets into attack posture, both knees are bent. Her arm doesn't swing back as much as yours, but then the red line represents down her spine, her drive going forward, and the green line, she's got, good knee bend, and you do the same thing. You don't have as much forward lean, which is probably okay, but we could attack home plate a little bit better. This part is what's called circle start. When your hand starts from the bottom, you can see that she still has that red line of posture, and her hand's at the very bottom of the circle. And that's why they call it the circle start position. And you do the same thing. You've got the red line, you've got the good forward posture as you start to drive home, as your ball is at the bottom of the circle. Next part's called the first quarter, and that's when you begin driving towards the plate with your glove and the ball. You can see Hernandez here. She's doing glove and hand both together, driving towards the plate, and here's you, and you look just as good as she does. You reach with your throwing hand, and you reach with your glove hand. I draw a circle around your head. As you can see, your head's nodding to the left or bending to the left, and later on you'll be left and your glove will go left, and you can see your glove right there as we get into what's called circle peak. Now this is the red line circle peak. The ball's at the peak of the circle, and the green line, the glove reaching home, and we call this the K or X position. You look just as good as she does right there, except for your glove, which is way left of the power line. So you'd like to be reaching and driving home. So the part in the blue is the part we'd like to improve, but the rest of it looks really good. The yellow line that you see is what's called reverse posture at circle peak. That means that your shoulder is behind, your hips are driving down the line, and you look really good at that point. And now you drive into what's called the toe touch position. And you can see Lisa, as she's at toe touch position, her elbows bent slightly, and she's still in reverse posture, which is the green line down the belly. You have the green line, which shows a little bit reverse posture. Your arm is a little more stiff than hers, and we probably could bend that elbow a little bit and get a little more whip action at the bottom. And this is a target view right here. You can see you coming through. You look really good right here, except for your glove hands drifted to the left. Your fingers are right behind the ball. Looks perfect. That's exactly what I want. But then as you let the ball go, you can see the back of your hand is facing third, which means we're rolling the ball a little bit and not coming across the seams and peeling it as hard as we'd like to. And we lose a little velocity. Anyway, the next part is what's called the third quarter, where our arm is almost third quarter of the way back. You can see that she's the white line, she's got knee bend, and she's resisting on the front. The blue line, she goes from reverse posture to the red line, which now she's more up and down. You can see you're up and down, maybe just a little bit too much, but you got good resistance on the front end here at the third quarter position, and looks really good. You see your arm is stiffer than hers, and so we lose a little bit of elbow bend and snap. And right there you let the ball go a little bit later than what we would like, and compared to her. You can see her, she gets to that green circle and then snaps hard to the red. Her elbow bends as she comes plowing through with her shoulder and gets her shoulder through. And we need to get a little more shoulder action from you. You can see the red circle as you hold on to the ball just a little bit too long. The other thing right here with the yellow dotted line is you're already closed to the catcher. Your chest is closed, and you can see compared to her, she's just a little bit more open as she drives her elbow and shoulder through before she closes up. And now you can see the back of your hand again as you throw around the outside of the ball. There's all 5 fingers. And I really want to peel across the top and get that closed hand. And now you turn your hand back over to try to fool old Coach Ricky. and then as you get to the top, you begin to bend your fingers up to try to make me think that, yeah, you snapped really hard across the seams. And all those are minor things that we can improve on, but certainly things that will make us a little more velocity. When we get finished right there, though, we want to be in a good position to catch and field the ball also. All right, the next thing right here is you're playing around with the ball. We'd really like to disguise our grip and what we're doing more. They can see, is it a change-up grip, is it a drop ball, and so we would like to disguise that a little more. Here you are driving home. You hold on to the ball just a little bit longer than I would like, and we could get a little bit more whip action on that. And, of course, you pushed out to the side as opposed to following up that power line. Here we set the cone down, so I guess you know that we're throwing a drop ball. We start to drive home, try to get our foot down, and here we're not exactly over the front end as much as we'd like to be. It's pretty close, but and you're grinning right here because you don't like it when we put the cone out. Driving towards home, get that foot down. You're a little bit better right there as your nose is coming out over the top. And then as you come through, we'd like to be a little bit more on top of the ball right there as we snap it across. Now you can see that I moved the cone even closer, and you're grinning again as if to say, how am I going to do that? But now I want you to see how much you get on the top of it. Foot comes down quick. Look at everything is come forward. Look at your shoulder position. Looks really good. As you start to drive through it, you're really on top of the ball at this position. And that looks a lot better. You're going to have to remember to really cut that, not so much cut the stride down as what we call get the foot down quicker so that you can still drive your hips and nose and get on top of the ball. And when I take that cone off, it's not something you remember or don't do as much as you should. So glove hand, head center, your elbow release are mechanics that we would like to improve on, but for the most part, a very good looking pitching mechanics right here. And watch this video and think about it, and we'll try to get better at some of those little things at the end